Hello everyone, this is Pooja Rawat. Today we are going to start class 8 chapter 4 understanding law. This is our civics chapter. You may be familiar with some laws such as those that specify the age of marriage. We know that the age of marriage is 18-year-old for the girls and 21 years for the boys, and the age at which a person can vote it is 18, and perhaps even the law dealing with buying and selling of property. We all know that there is a law for selling and buying a property. We now know that the parliament is in charge of making law, and do all these laws apply to everyone? How do new laws come into being? कैसे कोई नया कानून या नया लॉ बन के सामने आता है? कुड देयर बी लॉज दैट आर अनपॉपुलर और कंट्रोवर्शियल? हाँ, ऐसे बहुत सारे लॉ हैं जो कि कंट्रोवर्शियल भी हैं. एंड व्हाट शुड वी एज सिटीजन डू अंडर सच सर्कमस्टेंसेस? अगर कुछ ऐसा है तो एज ए सिटीजन्स हम क्या करते हैं, इन सर्कमस्टेंसेस में कैसे रहते हैं? सो we will start our chapter understanding law. First of all, we will read this story. This is a short paragraph type and you will give the answer for this. A government official helped his son go into hiding because his son has been given a 10-year jail sentence by a district court for a crime that he has committed. So we have to decide that is it wrong? We all know that this is wrong. This is clearly wrong. Nobody has right to use their post to save a criminal. Do you think that the government official action were right? No, this was not right. And should his son be exempt from the law just because his father is economically and politically powerful? No, this is not right. We all know that we all are equal in front of law, and उस गवर्नमेंट ऑफिशियल को कोई भी राइट नहीं था कि वो अपनी पावर, अपनी पोस्ट का यूज़ करके अपने बेटे को बचाए, बिकॉज वो एक क्रिमिनल है एंड उसको इसकी पनिशमेंट मिलनी ही चाहिए थी. द अबाउ इज़ अ क्लियर केस ऑफ वायलेशन ऑफ लॉ. एज यू रीड इन यूनिट 1, मेंबर्स ऑफ द कंस्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली वर एग्रीड देयर शुड बी नो आर्बिट्री एक्सरसाइज ऑफ पावर इन इंडिपेंडेंट इंडिया. They therefore institute several provisions in the constitution that would establish the rule of law. The most important of these was that all persons in independent India are equal before the law. The law cannot discriminate between persons on the basis of their religion, caste or gender. What the rule of law means is that all law apply equally to all citizens of the country and no one can be above the law. Neither a government official nor a wealthy person nor even the president of the country is above the law. Any crime or violation of law has a specific punishment as well as a process through which the guilt of the person has to be established. But was it always like this? In ancient India, there were innumerable and often overlapping local law. Different communities enjoyed different degrees of autonomy. In administrating these laws among their own. In some cases, the punishment that two persons received from the same crime varied depending on their caste background, with lower caste being more harshly penalized. This slowly began to change as their system of law began to further evolve during the colonial period. It is often believed that it was the British colonialists who introduced the rule of law in India. Historians have disputed this claim on several grounds, two of which include: first, that colonial law was arbitrary; the second, that the Indian nationalists play a prominent role in the development of legal sphere in British India. One example of the arbitrariness that continued to exist as part of British law is the Sedition Act of 1870. The idea of sedition was very broadly understood within this act. Any person protesting or criticizing the British government could be arrested without due trial. Indian nationalists began protesting and criticizing this arbitrary use of authority by the British, they also began fighting for greater equality and wanted to change the idea. In this picture, social and political life, you can see that the people and this ये जो picture है, this picture is before the independence, and the British government and their soldiers were killing Indian people, and what they want to show by this picture. Another example of British arbitrariness was the Rowlatt Act, which allowed the British government to imprison people without due trial. Indian nationalists, including Mahatma Gandhi, were vehement in this opposition to the Rowlatt Bills. Despite the large number of protests, and Rowlatt Act came into effect on 10 March 1919. In Punjab, protests against this act continued quite actively on April 10, two leaders of movement, Dr. Satyapal and Dr. Saifuddin, were arrested. To protest these arrests, the public meeting was held on 13 April at Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar. General Dyer entered the park with his troops. They closed the only exit, and without giving any warning, General Dyer ordered the troops to fire. Several hundred of people died, and in this gunfire, and many more were wounded, including women and children. This painting shows troops firing and the people during the Jallianwala Bagh massacres. This is the picture of Jallianwala Bagh massacres. The law from a set of rulers that they were forced to obey, to law as including ideas of justice. By the end of the 19th century, the Indian legal profession also began emerging and demanded a respect in colonial court. They began to use law to defend the legal rights of Indian judge also began to play a greater role in making decisions. Therefore, there were several ways in which Indians played a major role in the evolution of the rule of law during colonial period. With the adoption of Constitution, this document served as the foundation on which our representative began making law for the country. Every year, our representative passed several new laws as well as existing ones, as well as amend existing one. In your class 6 book, you read about the Hindu Succession Amendment Act 2005. According to this new law, son, daughter and their mother can get an equal share of family property. Similar new laws have been enacted to control population and provide employment. How do people come to think propose that a new law is necessary? You will read more about this in this next section. Our next topic is how do new law come about. The Parliament has an important role in making law, and there are many ways through which this takes place, and it is often different group in society that raise the need for a particular law. हम लोग महसूस करते कि अब एक नया कानून बनना चाहिए या पुराने कानून में सुधार होना चाहिए, पुराने लॉ को चेंज करने की ज़रूरत है. एंड एन इम्पोर्टेंट रोल ऑफ पार्लियामेंट इज़ टू बी सेंसिटिव टू द problem faced by people. Let us read the following story to understand how issue of domestic violence was brought to the attention of Parliament and the process adopted for the issues become law. Domestic violence generally refer to the injury of harm or threat of injury or harm caused by the adult male, usually the husband, against his wife. Injury may be caused by physically beating up woman or by emotionally abusing her. Abuse of the woman can also include verbal, sexual and economic abuse. The Protection of Women for Domestic Violence Act 2005 extends the understanding of the term domestic to include all women who live or have lived together in shared household with the male member who is Here is also another story. This is a comic. We will read it here. October 2006. There is a newspaper. The Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005 जब पास हुआ था. Sazia, this is the conversation of two ladies. Sazia, did you read today's newspaper? Isn't it a great day for women? Now, just women, violence-free human will benefit everyone. Kusum, it's taken such a long time to get this law passed. In fact, it began with establishing the need of a new law. Kusum and Sazia work for a women's organization. They remember the journey of how the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act got passed. April 1919, a typical day at their office. Sazia and this another woman named Kusum, they were revising a story. I need advice. My husband beat me up. एक औरत उनसे बात करने के लिए आई है. वो बातें कर रही हैं कि I need advice. My husband beat me up. I haven't told anyone so far. I feel so ashamed. I can't go on like this anymore. But I have nowhere to go. I am being ill-treated by my son and daughter-in-law. They verbally abuse me. I have to access to my bank account. They may even throw me out. I do not want to go to the police. I just want to stop the violence. I just don't want to be thrown out of the house I am living in. Unfortunately, the existing law is a criminal one and does not offer these options. Throughout in 1990s, the need for a new law. अब जब ये सिचुएशन सामने आ रही थी तो एक नए लॉ की ज़रूरत थी और उसके लिए काफ़ी स्ट्रगल किया वुमेंस ने. एंड द नीड फॉर न्यू लॉ वाज रिसाइड इन डिफरेंट फॉरम. Public hearing. We have heard testimonies of several women. We have seen that women want protection against being beaten, the right to continue living as a shared household, and often temporary relief. We need a new civil law to address this issue. In 1999, Lawyer Collective, a group of lawyers, law students, and activists, after a nationwide consultation, took the lead in drafting the Domestic Violence Prevention and Protection Bill. This draft bill was widely circulated. The definition for domestic violence should include physically, economically, sexually, and verbal and emotional abuse. The law should cover any woman living with a shared domestic space. They should be protected from being evicted from the shared household. What about some monetary relief? Meetings were held with different organizations, and the women movement want a new law on domestic violence. The government should introduce it in parliament soon. Finally, the bill was introduced in parliament in 2002. अभी आपने देखा कि सबसे पहले लोगों को एक नए कानून की ज़रूरत हुई. उसके बाद उन्होंने इसके बारे में बातें करना स्टार्ट किया. फिर जो NGOs थे या जो सोशल वर्कर थे उनके थ्रू ये बात पार्लियामेंट में उठाने की बात हुई. एंड फाइनली एक बिल पास हुआ, इंट्रोड्यूस हुआ पार्लियामेंट में 2002 में. दिस बिल हैज़ नन ऑफ व्हाट वी हैव बीन सजेस्टिंग. वी मस्ट oppose the bill in its present form. Let's have a press conference. We could also start an online petition. Several women organizations, National Commission for Women, made submission of the Parliament Standing Committee. An esteemed membership of Parliamentary Standing Committee hui, and the present bill must be changed. We do not agree with the definition of domestic violence being proposed. The law need to provide the temporary custody of children. In December 2002, the Standing Committee submitted its recommendation to the Rajya Sabha, and these were also tabled in the Lok Sabha. The committee report accepted most of the demands of the women group. Finally, a new bill was reintroduced in Parliament in 2005 after being passed in both Houses of Parliament. It was sent to the President for his assent. The Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act came into effect in 2006. This law is a first recognizes a woman's right to a violence-free home and provides a comprehensive definition of domestic violence. What is this law? This is a civil law aimed at providing relief to millions of women, including wives, mothers, daughters, and sisters affected by violence in their home. This law is a very significant step because it recognizes the right of women to live in a shared household. Women can get protection orders against any further violence. Women can get monetary relief to meet their expense, including medical cost. Now, being another long journey, yes, not the government has to ensure that this law is implemented and enforced. So, इस स्टोरी से आपको समझ में आया होगा कि कैसे एक नया लॉ फॉर्म होता है, बनता है. Often women who face violence are also abused or seen in victim, but women struggle in several different ways to survive this situation. Therefore, it is a more accurate to refer to them as survivor rather than as victim survivor. Women are survivors, not and victim also. As the above examples show, the role of citizens is crucial in helping Parliament frame different concerns that people might have two laws for establishing the need of a new law and it being passed at every stage of the process. Voice of the citizen is a crucial element. This voice can be heard through TV reports, newspaper, additional release, radios, and broadcast local meeting, all of which help it making the work that Parliament does more accessible and transparent to the people. Unpopular and controversial law. Let us now look at the situation where the Parliament passes law that turn out to be very unpopular. Sometimes a law can be continuously valid, that hence legal, but it can continue to be unpopular and unacceptable for the people because they feel that the intention behind it is unfair and harmful. Hence people might criticize this law, hold public meeting, write about it in newspaper, report on TV news channel, etc. In a democracy like our, citizen can express their unwillingness to accept a repressive law framed by the Parliament, which a large number of people begin to feel that a wrong law has been passed. Then there is pressure on the Parliament to change this. For example, various municipal law on the use of space within municipal limits often make hawking the street vending illegal. No one will dispute and necessity for some rulers to keep the public space open so that people can walk on the pavement easily. However, one also can deny the hawker and vendors provide essential service cheaply and effectively to the million living in large city. This is their means of livelihood. Hence, if the law favors one group of disgrade the other, it will be controversial and lead to conflict. People who think that the law is not fair can approach the court to decide on the issue. The court has the power to modify or cancel law if it finds that they don't adhere of the constitution. Do you remember this photo essay of the women's movement in class 7th book? The photo there showed the different way in which citizens can protest, campaign and show solidarity. The following picture point the other way in which people protest unjust law. We need to remember that our role as citizens do not end with electing our representative. Rather, it is then that we begin to use newspaper and the media to carefully chart the work that is being done by the MPs and criticize their action when we feel it is required. Thus, what we should bear in mind is that it is the extent, involvement and enthusiasm of people that help Parliament perform its representative function properly. So, in this chapter, I hope you understand the process of lawmaking in our country.